My name's Barbie the Welder and I'm a full-time metal sculptor. So today I'm going to show you how you can turn random pieces of scrap metal like this into works of art like this. Your first step is to get random shop scrapings. And for this project I used 1/4-inch plate steel. This is just like a test plate. I've welded all over it. I've had students weld all over it. I just have random pieces and I've taken them, and then you're going to want to cut them into very small pieces. And I personally find that triangles and squares and rectangles work the best to make your shapes. When you have smaller shapes and pieces like this, the smaller pieces will allow you to get more detail. The easier that you can get those details with your scraps, the less welding that you're going to have to do. But there's a whole ton of welding involved in this. So I found for me that making these 3D sculptures has been all about figuring out shapes, breaking the entire sculpture down into smaller shapes. So you're going to start off by laying out your general shape of your sculpture, just like the base of your sculpture, with those small pieces. Now that you have the general shape of your sculpture laid out with those small pieces, start looking at the general shapes. For me, I started with the nose. I looked at the shape of the nose, and honestly, it's a triangle. And what I saw, it was a triangle with 2 circles for like the little pieces on the side. So I just started building up those small pieces into that triangle shape for the nose, and then using Weld, I just built the 2 little, is it nostrils? I built the 2 little nostrils. This process is like putting a puzzle together. You have to keep in mind the large shape of what you're doing, the overall picture, but you have to think in smaller pieces. At least what works for me is thinking in smaller pieces. So I just focus on the nose until I get the nose built up into the shape that I want. And then just look at the next part for me was the mouth, is what shape is that mouth? And just slowly build up with those small pieces and weld the shape of the mouth. And as you're building them up, you build it up and then you use your grinder to grind it down. And what I find works for me are burr bits that are double carbide burr bits. I don't know why I can't get that one right in my videos. Double carbide burr bits, and I use small grinding discs called bobcats from Weiler Abrasives. And between the burr bits and those miniature flat discs, between the 2 of them, I'm able to shape the shapes that I am making. And then you weld and grind and weld and grind. And then you do some more welding and more grinding, and don't forget to weld and grind. And then you weld and grind, and then you need to weld and grind some more. And don't forget to weld and grind. Some more welding. Okay, a whole lot more grinding. Just a little more welding. Some more grinding. And Randy nailed it! Yes! You're welcome. When you're making a sculpture, it is all about the details. So for the next part, I took some scrap sheet steel that I had laying around that was a little bit rusty, got it cleaned up, cut it into triangles, and then took some scrap bicycle chain and got that cleaned up and put the two pieces together. Now that I have all my pieces prepared, I take my torch and I use it to use the heat to flame paint, and I don't know if that's the right word, but that's what I'm using. I use the heat to flame paint color into each of the pieces. Once I had everything done, I just welded it all together and cleaned it up and gave it a really cool clear coat so that it will never rust and it really holds in that gorgeous color. Thank you so very much for taking your time to watch this video. If you want more Barbie the Welder, I don't know who can handle it anymore. Check me out on Instagram and Facebook, and I'm doing my best to put up 2 new videos every week on Mondays and Thursdays on how to weld and how to run your art business and be successful.